Okay, we're recording now. I don't think we have to worry. What, you don't like this?
Producer, are we? Are you ready for your close-up?
I need a manicure. Hey everybody, Michael and Garth here. We are at it's the Saturday of the first ever Escape Velocity here in the DC area. Nobody asked us any questions for the Star Power June Q&A, so we are going to do another sneak peek of life behind a table. Last time I was at Awesome Con, which was a huge convention. This month we're going to do Escape Velocity, which is a much smaller show. So we'll see what the differences are like and what we do behind the table. And maybe Garth will speak some more. No. So is there a reason you've decided to like not talk in some of these videos? Are you like becoming the teller to our little Penn and Teller act? You son of a bitch. Okay, what's your name, by the way?
Oh, I'm Troy Klein.
Hi, Troy.
Hi.
And you work for NASA?
Yeah, I'm at the new program. I'm director of the STEM Innovation Lab.
Cool.
Space Flight Center. We're merging technologies together for scientists and engineers to come together, learn what it is, and then give us ideas for how we can do better outreach to science centers, museums.
That's awesome. Tell me, now repeat, please, what you just told me about what Star Power could do with space weather and stars and planets.
Our entire team works heavily in space weather and solar storms and aurora and all of those types of things combined. And they not only affect, space weather not only affects Earth, of course, but any planet within the solar system, within the heliosphere. So our star is connected to every planet in some way because we live within the atmosphere of that star. Mm-hmm. So there's a tool online that's called ISWA, I-S-W-A.
Okay.
And you can look up NASA ISWA, and it pulls up all these little tools you can collect and put on your computer screen out of 300 little types of programs. But they're very visual, they're really cool. There's one in particular, and I have to go get the actual name of the signet for you, or the instrument. But it shows how the sun and certain sunspots and magnetic fields are connected. It tells you which planet it's connected to. And so it's amazing. So what you could potentially do is have a superhero that's at the star taking advantage of that knowledge. And if they can enhance that magnetic field or work with that star in any way, maybe they can project a solar storm that's in the proper direction of a planet where a villain exists and wreak havoc on their communication systems like crazy. You could really take down their satellites in a pretty quick storm.
Yes. Yes.
They wouldn't see it coming.
This is amazing. Thank you so much. That was really super cool. Thank you.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So unlike Awesome Con, here at Escape Velocity, we have some panels we're doing, and we wrote down our schedule here on the table. I don't always recommend doing that. That's sometimes vandalism, but these are covers they're going to get rid of. So at 12:30 to 1:45 today, we're doing So You Want to Be a Comic Artist. At 4:15 to 5:30, why we're drawn to sci-fi. Tomorrow at 11:15 to 12:30, art inspired by science fiction. And 1:45 to 2:45, Garth and I will be doing our Space and Why It's Awesome panel. Should be fun. All right, my man, tell me your name and what you're here for, what you're here representing.
I'm Dave Taylor, ham radio call sign W8AAS. I'm representing ERIS, amateur radio on the International Space Station. We give students around the world a 10-minute opportunity to talk to the crew on the space station and ask questions. And this is my science fiction world, really. When I was in high
Tell me
school,
what you just told me about like living science fiction. That was such a cool statement.
I got into ham radio in high school, and I had big, clunky tube radios. I never dreamed back then that one day I'd be able to take a little handheld radio like this one with a telescopic antenna, stand in a field, and send messages back up to a space station and get them back.
I love that. I love everything about that statement, my man. Thank you so much.
Fantastic.
Really nice to meet you, and good luck with the ham radio on the ISS. That's amazing. I love it. Thanks, man. So the first Escape Velocity has been pretty fun so far. Garth and I have a panel at 4:15, and we're going to do our best to record some of that. So the panel is Why We're Drawn to Sci-Fi. It should be fun. Hopefully we'll have some interesting things to say.
Michael, how about you, man?
Oh man, why am I drawn to sci-fi? Like, like other people said, it was a family affair. My dad got me into science fiction because he thought it was awesome and he wanted to share that with his son, and I got into it. What I love most about science fiction, it is a very fertile playground. And again, these are sentiments that have been spoken already, but I'll echo them. It can be everything from hard science to hand wavium. I love them both for different reasons. Everything from science fiction to science fantasy. Everything from the popcorn sci-fi like Star Wars to like the real hard science like the Foundation trilogy. I mean, it's a broad spectrum doesn't suffer from being like such a niche that you only have to be into it in this one particular set of circumstances. You can like the 90%, you can like the top 10%, you can like the hand wavium, you can like the hard fact science fiction stuff, and it's all wonderful. And what we love about it and what we hate about it is the stuff of sometimes very heated debates among your friends, sometimes friendly, sometimes friendship ending, depending on how much you like or dislike ice pirates. I don't know. I don't know why I'm focusing on that right now. But yeah, it's a fertile playground. You can do anything with it. The possibilities are endless, and I think the scope of the imagination within the genre, I think, is what drew me to it.
I got into science fiction because my dad got me into science fiction. He was a missile engineer for the Air Force, and he got me into science fiction. And I think the thing that hooked me with science fiction so much was that it was an escape. It was an imagining of what could be, what instead of being tied into the here and now, it was more about the future possibilities. It had that element of otherworldliness that you could just fall into this alternate reality, this vision, this dream, and that was super fascinating. And that removal, that step removed from reality, made examination of the here and now, of our world, that much easier, right? Things could be presented in a very alien setting, that you clearly is recognizable as fiction. That if we were to talk about in context of like happening in the real world, would be absurd. You would never think it. But because it happens on the moon, it's suddenly like acceptable and digestible, and like gives you that room to think and compare that to like how to the real world. And I think that makes that made it even more fascinating for me.
Yeah, and actually.
Yeah.
When
So
I was in middle school, so this is like the original art.
this is the original art.
Wow.
If you know Charles Hildebrand, the guy who's running the board games,
Oh.
Tim is his dad.
Oh.
So yeah.
It's a still
We
suit
had-
for
and,
Dune.
That cover of Mary of the Dream World, that was,
We're off to give our Space and Why It's Awesome panel. This should be a lot of fun too. Talk, goddamn.
According to some of these models, like I think it's supposed to, like Saturn isn't supposed to still be out there. Like it should have spiraled back into the sun and been eaten back up by the sun forever ago, right? And the theory is that it didn't because Jupiter is so bloody massive, and that mass pulled Saturn back out into the outer solar system. And again, it's been a while since I read the article. I'm a little fuzzy on the details.
There's also been a few theories going around that the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter used to be a planet. but Jupiter just ripped it apart because it's so massive and it's just so. I mean, between the radiation it gives off, between its magnetosphere, between everything, it's theorized that the asteroid belt used to be another planet, but Jupiter was just like, I could have been a star! You stay there! You stay there! I'm screwing this guy up. You don't move! That was my impression of Jupiter yelling at Saturn to stay out of this.
Angry Jupiter.
Angry Jupiter. He's got a lot to be angry about.
He could have been a contender.
I could have been somebody. I don't want Jupiter to actually become a star. That would murder all of us.
That would probably end badly for everyone.
Oh, it would end terribly. We'd all be dead within moments. Escape Velocity 2016 is coming to an end. It was their first year, and it was our first year coming down here. We've had a blast. Thank you to everybody who came to see us. Thanks to everybody who supported Escape Velocity in their first year. Thanks to everybody who came to our panels and talked to us, talked with us.
You guys were awesome.
They really were. And we look forward to doing this again next year. See you next time.